Welcome to Homestead Reptile. This is an episode of Morph History, the monochrome. Today with me is Mr. Mud, and then I have Boba Tea back there, and they're being really great, patient geckos, and I'm giving them some treats because they are good and encouraging them to be calm and happy when I'm putting them in the photo box. So, monochrome is an interesting case. I was going to do this a while ago, but I kind of sat on it because I wanted to gather more information. And the more I looked, the more and more confusing it got for me. So I was left with a ton of questions. Let's first look at what a monochrome is supposed to be. So it's supposed to be incomplete dominant, and this is the description of the morph. Monochrome have a muted light gray color with patches of black pigment in their skin. When fired down, they can look almost paper white. They were first produced by gecko gene. That is it. Could fit on a sticky note. I actually wrote it on a sticky note right here. Now, to find more information, is like, you know what? I should find a breeding group that breed monochrome. I found it. There's 463 people, and I asked the group, what's a monochrome? What's the difference between a monochrome and a line-bred gray phantom? And where is the incomplete dominant form? So where is the full form of monochrome? Where's the super form? And I got nothing. So what is a monochrome? They just repeated back to me what I wrote. Okay, it's like, all right, so I've seen gray-based phantoms that look like monochromes, but they're not monochromes. They're not monochromes. Then it's like, okay, so super form. It's like they have to have a super form. They're incomplete dominant. It's like, okay, they don't have a super form. It's like, okay, that's weird. So come with me in my thought pattern. Monochrome, I was never able to find a date when they were first produced. So monochromes have been around at least as long as cappuccinos and sables. And we know cappuccinos and sables have a super form, but monochrome doesn't. So my answer for my question was, well, it's a new morph and we're working on it. It's like, okay, but it's not newer than sables and cappuccinos. And we know there's a super form. It's been around a little bit longer, I believe, and I couldn't find a super form. And then none of those people in the group, 463 people. Now, not all of those are breeders of monochrome. A lot of those people came in there to ask the same questions and to figure out what's going on with this gene. And I've never seen a super form. I'm just left with a lot of questions. It's like I can't even tell what's the difference between a monochrome and a gray-based phantom. If you gave me a monochrome and a gray-based phantom, I wouldn't be able to tell. And another thing, monochromes aren't always gray. So this description isn't even very accurate because there are people in that group that have monochromes and they're brown. They're brown. They're like this off-red color. And then they will say, it's like, well, monochrome is a muting gene and it mutes out some of the color. It's like, okay, so this description for monochrome isn't even accurate. So monochrome just left me with a ton of questions and with very few answers. And I don't know what's going on with them. I know monochromes, there's not a ton of them for sale, and I don't see a ton of people buying them. They're kind of expensive. So the average monochrome baby is like $2,000 to $3,000. I've seen some people try to sell them for $5,000. And for that price ticket on monochrome, I would personally like to know if they're incomplete dominant or not. I would like to see the super form. It's like I'm going to invest in a project and you tell me it's all this stuff, but I have no proof that it is this stuff. It's one thing if you're investing in a completely new morph and you don't know what's going on and you're taking that risk, but monochrome has supposedly been around for a decent period of time. And there's a sticky note I have here of information. That's it. I know more about pinky crested geckos. We know a lot more about pinky crested geckos than we do know monochromes. And pinkies have been around for a hot second, technically. But if you like this episode, leave a like. Tell me what you think, what's going on with monochrome. It's just a mystery to me, and I don't really have any opinions. It's weird. I can't find anything on it. But like and subscribe. See you later.